my cultural roots and traditions all come from being from India and being Hindu. So religion and culture intertwined, and being an immigrant, which has its own cultural attachments across many of us here. My mom had interstitial lung disease, and which was also complicated by lung cancer that was actually originated from a cervical cancer diagnosis many, many years ago. And so the spread had moved to her lung, and the last round was really lung cancer that we were dealing with. With my father, it was dementia and Alzheimer's. This deeply rooted kind of belief that our job is to take care of our parents, and that we will reorganize and reshuffle what we need to do to be able to take care of them, because they've done the same for us. You see that all around you as you're growing up as a child, that people, aunts, uncles, grandparents, are all coming together to take care of each other. The differentiator as an immigrant is that you're not surrounded by that. So you hear about it and you have a sense of it, but when you're a first and second generation immigrant, what's playing out, or what your parents may be telling you stories of how things played out, is not possible here because you're not surrounded by that. And that dichotomy was a challenge for me to manage. And if anything, it meant I needed to do more, because there wasn't a support system around me, not one that would fit into the cultural dynamic that we have, which is everyone comes together to help. But when you're in it, it takes a lot of energy to have to think all of that through and point that out to the variety of people in the system, so that the system is now set up for us. And now the aggregated number of minorities are actually the majority now. And so really meeting us where we are, it requires not us adjusting anymore, but the system adjusting, and it's just not there. Candidly, as a caregiver at the time, I'm like, I don't have time to chase down whether I can get somebody to pay for the cab that I need to take her somewhere. By the time I figure that out, I'll just take her somewhere. If you can get care coordinators and social workers from the hospital all the way out until you get home to be hand in glove with these patient advocacy groups and service provider groups, so that they're educated on what we need and they're integrating what the services are into the package, you're going to get greater acceptance. So I would have experienced them and probably accepted what they had to offer if they showed up through the phase of care we were at, through my palliative care provider, like integrated some in the pathway of care. If you can follow the life cycle of what someone is going through, and then uniquely specify the kinds of things they may need as it relates to your culture. So, we see this often, right? So you were just diagnosed, right? Like you hear it from the disease side. What do you do now that you know, right? And then you get all of these things. I think you need another column or another pathway that says, what do you do now that you know, and you are of Hindu faith, or are Indian, or are vegetarian, or are whatever.